Okay, on this video, I'm going to be talking about my overview on how to navigate the crypto markets with some basic strategies that I feel are going to be very important to know, especially for someone who is new into the markets. Based on my 5+ years of trading, okay, we're also going to be talking about Ape Coin, which is Ape USDT, which is a request by one of my long-term viewers. And so yeah, I'm gonna see what's happened with ApeCoin. Use this as an example to talk about an overview of what I think new crypto investors, should probably consider. Let's go ahead and take a look into. So I want to talk about a few things first. So first of all, I don't like chasing pumping green candles, especially on the day of. That was a mistake that I have made quite a few times before. I significantly reduced that practice. Okay. I'm not gonna say 100% because sometimes I might just have a very good day, very good period, and I have some dry powder to maybe gamble a little bit because I think it's a good bet. But overall, I would say mainly I don't chase pumping green candles. I like looking for lower risk setups. And if you guys been following my channel, you guys know what those lower risk setups are. It's usually before a breakout happens, towards the bottom of a pattern. Okay, and let's take a look. I also want to mention another one, which is to take profits. That is going to be huge, especially by the time we get to the end of this bull cycle. I used to think bull cycles will last forever. Well, at least in crypto, you know, some of these dumps are going to be significant. Okay, where I'm talking about November 2021, maybe May 2021. That wasn't like a huge dump, but it was still a big dump. And I wish I could have gotten more profits out. But I spent the past 4 years contemplating about how I can do this bull cycle better. And this time around, I think I'm going to be a lot more prepared to make a lot more money. Um, Now, I also want to talk about another strategy, just an overview here, which is something I would say it's more specific, which is basically not to put all my money onto one single position, right, or one single setup, right, because nothing is 100% in this market. I know how I used to feel, and probably how a lot of people would feel as well when they feel very good about a setup, that it's going to be a winning setup. But what I figured out in this market is it's very obvious. Nothing is 100%. So if I put all my money onto one bet, one coin, um, what would happen if I was wrong? I don't have a recourse, right? What I learned over these past few years is always it's very important to have a plan B, plan C. So I like to distribute my bets into more than just one position. I have a lot of positions, and that is much safer. And not to go all in all at once, because if things go down, I can at least have more dry powder to potentially make more money off that dip, right? And if it dips some more, I would still have more dry powder to make money off that dip. So on. That's just an example. Now, let's come back to Ape here, and I want to talk about the weekly time frame for Ape. Okay, weekly time frame for Ape. This is a falling wedge pattern, which is one of those patterns I've talked about, which is a lot lower risk than chasing a pumping green candle on the day of. Now, weekly time frame for Ape, falling wedge pattern. It's a bullish pattern that usually has a higher chance of breaking out to the upside. Now, I'm going to adjust this measure move here to somewhere later down the line, because I don't think it's likely it's going to break out at that point anymore since it's so close. And if it breaks out by this point, for example, price target would be about $3, just short of $3.80 for APE. Price targets are estimates only. They're not 100%. It could be more or less. Very much depends on if we're in a bull market, bear market, sideways markets. If I think we're still in a bull market, so I think it's likely that APE actually breaks through this price target, probably meets this price target and more. But of course, it's going to depend on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin has more room to run, so will these altcoins. However, if Bitcoin dumps, especially below that 110K level, these setups are going to be pretty worthless. Now, I don't trade altcoins without a clear understanding of Bitcoin. I am long on Bitcoin. I am long on quite a bit of the altcoins here. So my opinion on this market is bullish. But of course, these are just my opinions and not financial advice. I'll tell you guys when I change my opinion, so you guys do want to subscribe. Let's take a look into from within the pattern here. If I can see a sub pattern here that tells me if this price action is more likely to continue upwards or downwards. Now, I talked about a potential cup and handle pattern here last time. Scenario, right? I would say I will have to discard that scenario because it looks like it had a cup and handle, right? But it broke down, okay? As you guys can see, this was the cup and handle, but it broke down. Now, so I'm going to discard that. And what we could be looking at here is a double bottom pattern. So first bottom on the week of June 16th, second bottom on the week of July 28th with bullish divergence. So that usually tells me that there's going to be a bounce, which we got. Let's take a look into now this double bottom with the price target of $1.05. Let's see if it gets to this target before potentially breaking out of this falling wedge pattern. Let's take a look into a smaller time frame and see if I can get any clues on what APE could be doing. Now, APE is trying to get on top of some of these daily moving averages. When they're above the price action, they're going to be resistance, and all your daily moving averages are lined up here, anywhere from about 60 cents to about 62 cents. So very tight range. Let's see if APE can break out of above these moving averages and then out of this double bottom pattern. Also got to consider the downside of these patterns as well, because even though they're more likely to be breaking out to the upside, they could still break down. I've seen that happen. So this basically wraps up for this video for APE. Let me know if you guys want to continue seeing any more of ApeCoin or any other coins in this market by dropping a like, comment, subscribe. I'll pick a request to do for you guys on a daily basis. I'll see you on the next one.